Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Taurus. If Taurus is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. And our card for this reading is the Adjustment card, which is also related to kind of law and order, justice, right? Okay. And so I hope we all are doing well. We here are in the middle of a heat wave, which I'm sure most of us are, right? In the northern hemisphere, it seems like. So I won't complain too much, but it does wear you out. Okay, so where are we gonna start? I think that okay, so I see this one as two things. It looks like we have a boat, okay, and it looks like it has a sail, but it also looks like, if you turn it just a little bit, sitting on the sail is a person in kind of a meditative posture, okay? So this says to me that you are once again on the move. This is in the physical zone, so on the flat of the bowl, this would be the more physical world. Then on the edge is more emotional, psychic, and then on the rim here is the metaphysical messages from the divine, you know, kind of more cosmic things, cosmic matters. So I do believe that something has been going on in your physical world, some kind of situation. It seems like maybe something has come up that was out of your control. I don't think you knew it was going to happen. I think it was just kind of a change in circumstances. This maybe has to do with financial, your living situation, or something that maybe is legal, like some kind of legal contract. But it has changed, okay? And I think though that you are in a place, you're kind of cool as a cucumber, right? You've done a lot of work this last year, kind of tempering of self, right? Focusing on working on your emotionality, your reactions, trying to, you know, go through situations without these big outbursts and things. And I think you're doing really well with this. I think that you are in a place where you realize, you know, you're going to have to partake in the situation to some degree. You don't really have a big say in it. It's out of your hands. I think that you're kind of just moving on to the next thing. You're letting it just kind of happen as it does. You're doing your part, right? But you're also fully ready to keep moving forward, okay? And I think that's it's an ideal way to go about any kind of uncomfortable, something that comes up and it just kind of throws you off out of the path you were on, or it's just kind of, it's just time, kind of taking up your time and your emotions, right? And so it just it's nice to be in a posture of controlling of those emotions. Okay, so I want to look at this one up here. I just want to pull this one back for a second. And I guess I'm seeing kind of this face here. And it looks like it's kind of has a frown. But as I'm looking at it as well, it looks like a person who is fishing and there are fish. So, I think that, although you're not super happy about what is happening, I think you're remaining logical and reasonable. Okay, I think inside you're not thrilled, but I think that this will move along quickly. It's not going to affect your, the majority of your life or attention. It's kind of just an annoyance. It's just a little bit, it's just a little bit of a thing. I don't know exactly what it is, but I do know that, like, if anything, it really sucks when, any kind of paperwork. We all know having to make phone calls and, sort out things, like dealing with any kind of bureaucracy is, just, I don't know. It gives me anxiety myself. So I think you're, getting through it. I also see, though, that you are pretty excited to be out here just working on your projects within your career field. If you are retired or not in the working stage of your life, you're remaining busy. You have your things going on. I see there's a lot of abundance. It looks like, you're trying to catch something and really just have the motivation to keep, busy, to keep kind of focused on the work at hand. Okay, and I think that's really going to be kind of what gets you out of this little blip of a funky feeling, right? Now over here, it looks like we have, and now this reminds me of, one of the saints maybe, but a person who is kind of on top of a dragon, okay? And it looks like they maybe have like a torch or a sword or something. And so I think of kind of this illuminating sword, kind of the flaming sword of whichever angel, I can't remember which one it is, maybe Michael or something. But I see that in this context, the biggest thing that has gone on, that is, I would give you an applause for this, is that you've really, really managed to control your anger, your big moods coming up. And I know I already kind of said that, but seeing this, I see that you are using this mixture of your spiritual practices and your kind of psychological, whatever methods you're using, mindfulness, stimming, distractive, whatever it is, just processing how you feel. You're really implementing this and controlling this the anger that is rising or the rage that is rising, okay? And this is a big win. I think this is a big deal, you know. Even if sometimes it still slips, when you can really kind of catch yourself when there's a lot of pressure on, there's a lot of inconvenience, you know, from some outside thing that's out of your control, that's a big deal. It's not always easy to temper yourself in that way. But I think, you know, you've paid a lot of attention to really cultivating yourself, cultivating your interior spaces, being mindful of how you're interacting with your own life, with the people who are close to you, and the greater community. But, you know, the biggest thing is that you're putting that energy into other things. So hopefully, you know, you have something that you've been doing, or you are, you know, going to take, if this is something that has not started or happened yet, you're going to take this energy and you're going to put it into something useful. So, you know, some kind of intentional movement. Maybe you're actually going to go fishing, some kind of new project. Put it into the work that you're doing, you know, put it into ritual, whatever it is. I think it's a wonderful gift to be able to transmute these base feelings, base emotions, into something far more refined and useful to you. That really is work that could take a lifetime. You know, even people who have spent many moons, you know, working on trying to get to this point, still fall short. So, big pat on the back for you. I think this is really wonderful. So hopefully, as I'm talking about this, you'll think of a situation where recently you can think, okay, yeah, I really did kind of master my feelings in that situation. Even if it was something like somebody cut you off and you didn't freak out, you didn't, you know, honk your horn or, you know, yell at them or, you know, whatever it is, you didn't rage text somebody or you know, post something that was, you know, going to be bothersome to people in your life or whatever it is, you know. It could just be a little thing like this. But that is where it's most important, because those little things really set the tone for our realities. Okay, and so we have to try to work on the little fragments, right? And the big thing too, the self-talk, the things that we're saying to ourselves. Okay, if we are walking around all day long, you know, cursing every little thing that goes wrong, or we're, you know, just groaning and stomping our feet and, you know, whatever, it just really sets the tone for your own perception of the world, but also changes the atmosphere around you. Okay, and so other people are going to kind of take a cue from how that like cloud is around you and kind of, you know, either stay backed off or, you know, kind of meet you at your energy. And then it becomes kind of one of those like feedback loop type deals, right? And then you just kind of get stuck in a perpetual cycle with the people who are close to you. And it's hard to dig out of that. So I know it's kind of annoying when we're going through hard things for somebody to say, okay, you got to like do this positive self-talk. You have to really think about like, what are you allowing yourself to think about all day, or how are you reacting to things, even if it is privately or quietly within your own mind. That still is so important to try to, you know, and I fail at that a lot because I am quite an Eeyore. I am, can be quite a grumpy girl. So, trying to think of the things that we're grateful for. Trying to, even just putting on good music that you like, or, I like to dance a little bit if I'm feeling kind of bummed out or angry. Go outside. It's so hot. That would make it worse right now. But finding something, that really gives you a second to just breathe and think, there are a lot of good things going on in the world for me. And I'm going to think about that stuff. And if it feels like there are no good things, I'm going to create some good things. I'm going to, I'm not going to wait around for something to happen to me. I'm going to be the one that, initiates that goodness in my life. I'm going to take my power back, right? I'm going to be a little magician in my own life, a world creator, set the tone. All right, let's see. What else do we have going on here? So we have fishing, we have sailing away. It's almost kind of could be like that, what is that song from the 90s, that Enya song, the sail away, like real chill, like meditative. Okay, and then we had the dragon being kind of subdued. And so I want to look here in the middle. We have some things that kind of look like letters. This one looks like a V and an R, okay? Or RV. Maybe you're going on a trip. Maybe you've gotten an RV. I don't know. It could be a name. And now I'm seeing, and I've been seeing a lot of squirrels in these readings lately. And I guess that's because we have so many squirrels in our yard, who are my little babies. They've been so cute because it's so hot, the poor things. They put out bowls of water and stuff for them. And they just lay there on their tummies in the shade, just kind of trying to cool off, and just kind of peek out and watch them through the window here and there. But we do have a little squirrel here. So I feel like you're reserving your energy. That whole concept of squirreling things away. Usually it's like nuts or, something to eat for the winter. But I feel like you, although you're very motivated, you're out doing things so that you can create more resources for yourself. I see the fish. When I see the fish, that, equates kind of food to me, or some kind of resources, something to live off of. So it could be money, it could be happiness, it could be, whatever it is you're trying to catch. But I do think that you, Taurus, have been on kind of this big journey to really get your life into a real stable, and not only just stable, but have a little cushion there. So I think that you are, really making some moves. I think that, being able to work on how you react to things is a game changer, and I think allows so much more energy to put into creating success for yourself. And I really do see that coming in these next months. I think you're gonna have a really wonderful next 2 seasons. I really get that vibe. And so that would be, autumn and winter in the north, and spring and summer in the southern hemisphere. I try not to forget you in the southern hemisphere. I'm sorry if I say things. One thing I have to say is that just, flip it if I don't say it. We are in peak summer right now. It is so hot that I can't even imagine a cool day at the moment. So anyways, I do think though for Taurus it's going to be a nice 2 seasons. I think a lot of resources coming in, something big coming. okay? So reserving those energies, really working smarter, not harder. Although I do think you're a hard worker, but I think that you are making really reasonable, logical moves. And you have a lot of clarity because you've done so well at kind of keeping your emotions in check, deciding how you're going to react outwardly, okay? Instead of just going off of impulse. And that's a big deal, okay? That's definitely a big deal. Okay, now let's take a look here. Okay, so I'm seeing this as a buoy, and if you don't know what that is, a buoy is like it's a flotation device that's in the water. It kind of marks the boundaries, usually of like where the waters are shallow and a boat shouldn't come in there, or like where people swim, and it's to basically usually keep people, it's to mark the shallows mostly. But I think that this is like a boundary that you're setting, okay? I think that maybe this has to do with this original thing we were talking about, something maybe that is legal, or a legal problem, or some kind of contractual thing. I don't know that it's actually directly affecting you, or if you are kind of you're being pulled in to be involved in some capacity. But I do think that you are setting some boundaries for yourself with people in your life, because this feels like this is not something that has a lot to do with you, but it is something that is kind of really inconvenient, but also kind of, triggering in some way. So I think it's good, right? I think it's always a wonderful thing to notice when we need to kind of set some, some boundaries, set the tone, and kind of advocate for ourselves with people. And I know that can be difficult to do sometimes. Although for your Taurus, I don't know, maybe not. I probably mentioned this before in my Taurus readings, but I was in a relationship with a Taurus for over 10 years or whatever, and I have to say, never have a problem telling me or anybody else, what he wanted or what his boundaries were. So maybe not a Taurus problem, but I think setting those boundaries is a wonderful idea. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring up these cards. We are in a new cycle of reading, so we are going into the Water Blessing Affirmation cards. And I like the color. It actually ended up matching the adjustment card. And so I'm just going to lift these up, and then I'm going to kind of go through here and pick the first one that kind of feels right. It's a pretty kind of tropical flower. We have a nice little eye there in the back, and it says, vitality, balance, celebrate as Shiva dances, softly dissolving illusion. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I think that, through the mastery, and as I said, kind of transmuting some of those base feelings, emotionality, impulses, coping mechanisms, into something more refined, something unlocked of all that kind of heavy Saturnine lead, that is in the base material. When you start to transmute this stuff, it's difficult work, but it allots for, I think, a lightness to come in, the ability to find more contentment, more, I think, kind of broad strokes of joy, finding happiness in all kinds of places. And so, yeah, I think that kind of ecstatic dance, that dance of agape, you know, the expression of love, the great equalizer. I think that's a beautiful thought. And I think that's, you know, definitely within the realm of where you are or where you are headed. Okay. All right. I'm going to thank you so much, Taurus, for spending this time with me tonight. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm. And as we know, the algorithm really kind of decides where the channel goes. And so if you would, you know, maybe like the video, share the video on other social medias, watch the video from the beginning to the end. If you haven't subscribed yet, think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. I know somebody asked me in one of the comments, and I have to answer that one tonight. What is the most important placement to watch, if it's your solar, your lunar, or ascendant, or whatever? Honestly, I think my school of thought is that you watch what you are so compelled to watch. I don't think that there is any placement that is more important, but different placements kind of are related to different things that you're going through at that moment. So, you know, well, here's like the broad, the kind of broad, you know, if you maybe are looking for like a love, kind of anything about love, or, you know, in that department, emotionality, I would say like Venus, you look for your Venus. If I want to look for like magical messaging from the universe, any kind of, you know, inspiration for creativity, I look at the lunar usually. And solar, I think that's just really more, in my opinion, kind of the more general. And yeah, but on the other hand, I just watch. I like to watch all of my stuff, so you know, and take from each reading what applies to me. So really, you know, you can watch whatever one you want, and or more than one, and just kind of take the key things that really speak to you. And that's how these readings are supposed to be. I'm not, you know, I do these readings if there are just little pieces that make sense, or the whole thing really kind of. Are you going to come up here and not miss? Everybody wants to see you all the time, and you're just kind of hiding in the back here. Miss TT has come to say hello. And so, you know, ultimately, if it is that it all makes sense or just part of it makes sense, then, yeah. Oh, I know. You want to go to bed, don't you? You little cutie. She's hanging on to me like a little baby. Okay, so also the other thing is, if you want to leave a comment, please do. I read them all, and it might take me a day or two to get back, but I do read them all, and I reply to them all. So that's why it takes a little while. But again, I want to thank you, and we will talk again very soon.